There are two paths that a leader can take. Path one, telling people what they want to hear or what to do, or taking them where they need to be. The latter is really defined with not only identifying the challenges, but working to overcome them. I'm not going to say that I have every solution for the challenges that I'm going to discuss right now, but the idea here is as context change, as resources change, when we look at our respective classroom, school, or district, identifying the challenges is the first step. But then it's how do we create workable, plausible, realistic solutions in order to overcome them. So, as a principal, I kind of got inspiration for this video from a post I wrote back in, I believe, 2014. And a lot of these challenges that I was faced with as a principal, I still see schools grappling with in my role as a coach across the country and across the world. So here are what I've identified as some of the top 10 challenges. Number one, this is too hard. There's nothing easy about change, everybody. And you have to roll up your sleeves and understand that nothing comes easy. And it is going to be hard. You're going to have to go through that struggle, dissonance, in order to really move a system. And that's what's challenging. When we think about classrooms, schools, that's great, but we want to move the system. So we can't sugarcoat it. It's not necessarily going to be easy. Number two, time. I don't have time for this. I hear it all the time, everybody. Time. It's a reality of where we are. But when we think about time, it's how we use the time and how we advocate for more time in terms of, whether it be designing blended learning activities, integrating technology effectively, revamping curriculum, but when we think about time, we all have the same amount of time in the day. And when we think about time, we control one thing in the classroom and one thing only, the quality of learning. So as we focus our time, it really is, in order to make it more, stretch it along, is, do common planning, share resources across the district. But more importantly, to save time, connect with teachers, administrators, schools, and districts across your state, country, and world that are already doing the work. Don't reinvent the wheel. Number three, lack of collaboration. You know what? We got to play nice. Sometimes, I would see issues unfolding in my school, and I really thought it was like the education version of General Hospital. We have to, number one, want to collaborate, but also create the structures in our respective culture that gives people the time to collaborate and fosters that collaborative spirit. One thing I did was I freed up my teachers during non-instructional duties and allowed them to work on cross-curricular projects. And my team and my other administrators, we did the duties in their place. We covered classes so teachers could go and collaborate. We covered classes so teachers could go to other schools and collaborate with others. Number four, directive approach. No one likes to be told what to do. People want to be shown how to do it. They want to be empowered. They want to be trusted. The directive approach rarely gets the results that we want. So as we think about, overcoming this roadblock, leading by consensus, listening more, talking less, and really thinking about how we can remove that, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. Mandates and directives rarely lead to lasting change. Number five, hierarchy in schools. There's so much hierarchy going from, here in the United States, Board of Education, central office, building leadership, then teacher leadership, and then all the way down to our students. So sometimes all of those layers are a deterrent to innovation. Decisions don't get made, or they're made in an untimely fashion, or they're not communicated. So as we think about that hierarchy, we have to think about ways to really expedite the decision process. Number six, no support. Support is a roadblock to change. Support comes in the form of time, resources, money. So as we think about the support, we really have to think about, how are we providing relevant professional learning opportunities? How are we providing support through timely, specific, actionable feedback? So again, it's easy to say one thing, but what do our actions show? Number seven, fear of change. Nobody likes change at scale except for wet babies. So it's okay to be afraid. We think it might not work, or, I might be reprimanded. When we think about fear, I like this second take from Zig Ziglar. Fear, face everything and rise. If you're doing what's best for kids, if you're doing what's best for your school, there really is no, we shouldn't let fear take hold. I might have lost count, but now I think I'm about 7. The naysayers and antagonists. The saying goes, it's usually the 5% that give us 95% of the problems. Most people, the majority, inherently want to do what's best for kids. But when we think about the naysayers and antagonists, the potential of the energy vampire, we cannot exclude them, everybody. It becomes a roadblock to change if we don't make them part of the process. And that's the key with the naysayers and antagonists, to empower them to be part of the decision-making process, part of the solution, bringing them in, providing them feedback, positive reinforcement, and modeling the way. Number 9, roadblock change, poor professional development. One size fits all. The dog and pony show. When we think about one and done or drive by or not personalized. Listen, we can't ask teachers to and administrators to personalize learning or personalize a culture if we're not modeling that. So when we think about agency for our kids, voice, choice, path, pace, place, that has to be modeled in our professional learning for our teachers, for our administrators. If PD, professional learning, stinks, it's going to be a roadblock to the changes that we're trying to usher in. And finally, challenge number 10, frivolous purchases. We love buying stuff. Let's buy the latest curricular resource. Let's buy the latest piece of technology. And we focus on the what without really ironing out the why and hammering out the how. So we buy stuff, and I see it all the time. Let's get interactive whiteboards for every classroom. And then what it becomes is a nice wall painting or a glorified overhead projector. Why? Because we just buy the stuff, because everyone else is buying the stuff. So what we have to be is very cognizant and think about, how will this purchase actually improve what we do? Is there relevant professional learning support to ensure efficacy in whatever we buy? So those are my 10 common roadblocks. There are many more, but I'd love to hear on social media what roadblocks you are faced with, as well as actionable strategies that you've worked to overcome them. Thanks for listening, everybody.